You're still watching Midday Live. It's time for business, and President Akufo-Addo has sworn into office an 11-member board of the Millennium Development Authority. Now, the reconstituted board has been tasked with the responsibility of ensuring the successful implementation of the second compact of the Millennium Development Account.
The second compact is primarily geared towards the energy sector. The authority is to ensure challenges in accessing electricity across the country are addressed.
We're very happy to see that the compact was successfully carried out. And I believe it is that which above all has given the confidence to the United States government to enter into this second one with us. It's a very, very critical intervention that the Millennium Challenge Corporation is making in the life of our country. The 11 members of this body who have the voting rights on the authority, you bear the principal responsibility of ensuring that the objectives of the authority are achieved. But our interest is making sure that this compact, which we have adhered to, is implemented and that it is successfully implemented. And the people of Ghana will benefit from that exercise, and that is why we have gone into it.
Chairperson of the board, Ya Ntiamwa Bwedu, who spoke on behalf of her colleagues, promised to deliver.
The focus of the compact, as the President stated, is the energy sector. At this time in Ghana, we couldn't have chosen a better focus. We have challenges that we need to resolve to move our country forward. And the board will do everything it can to make it work.
This second compact of $560 million is to revamp the energy sector. The first compact of $540 million targeted agriculture and road infrastructure.
All right, so we're going to talk a lot more about Midday and our energy sector. And this afternoon, I have been joined in the studio by Kojo Poko. He's an energy expert. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Wendy. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Thanks for your time. Now,
thank you.
This issue about energy, the sector challenges isn't going away.
Right.
And we've just seen the president with a new board for Midday. Yeah. He's taxed them, and they're saying that they're up to it. But what are your expectations?
Well, if you look at the composition of the board, it involved the sector ministers that some of these reforms that Midday has embarked on. Basically, you have the energy minister, which the power sector reform comes under him. You have Honorable Encho Martin, when some of Midday's work also comes under him, because then you have AGI also represented on Midday. So these are the very individuals who oversee some of the work that Midday, if Midday does some of these reform programs, affects their ministries and sectors. So it's well for them to be on there to deliberate. One of the main tasks they have now is to oversee the challenging issue of the compact too, with ECG, which is the Millennium Challenge, with the concessionary agreement, which the previous administration couldn't conclude because of agitation with Labour and ECG and stuff like that. So going forward, I think that is the main area.
But are you satisfied with the people there?
With people at Midday?
On the board.
Yes, definitely.
And on the board as well.
On the board, yes. I mean, these
you think they're up to it?
Yes, they are very much up to it. There are people who are abreast of the issues in their various sectors. So whatever Midday does and present to the board, they will be able to now see how it interrelates to their sectors. So if you have, for example, Honorable Jakon, who is the sector minister for energy, would be able to now see how Midday's program for the power sector reform now affects his ministry, and he can make the requisite inputs through his ministry. So AGI is represented. They can also be able to inform the board on how the reforms that Midday is doing reflects on industry. Okay. So in that sense, yes, the people on the board I'm very happy with.
Now, you also mentioned, which I was going to talk about, the privatization of ECG. And last year, we saw a lot of labor agitations. Workers of ECG were angry, they weren't satisfied. Are we going to make headway?
Well, you see, it's not privatization, it's private sector participation, a concessionary arrangement of 25 years. Now,
But do you think that the understanding has gone down well?
No, the whole thing has not been done well. You know what I mean? When the compact was signed, the government through Midday and MCC decided that IFC should be the advisory company, the consultants to go through the process. IFC, to me, did not do a good job because IFC compiled what is called a request for proposal. And in the request for proposal, they now stipulated quite a number of things. Even our own cabinet, in the last administration, cabinet made some decisions that were supposed to go in the RFP that were not included. Everybody understands that the concessionary arrangement, which is the private participation of ECG, should go ahead. Because ECG, looking at the way they work, we think they can do with some revamping and some introduction of private sector interest. But the way it has been structured in the last concessionary arrangement as exists, I think the present government should review the complete document which IFC prepared. I'll give you a typical example. The 25 years concessionary arrangement which has been put in place, our parliament, so our cabinet in the previous administration said that, look, for 25 years, it should be 15 years. Then after 15 years, it should be reviewed and then, if possible, renewed for under 10 years. But within the 15 years, there should be a 5 years review of the performance of the concessionaire. That is not included in the request for proposal. You look at a scenario whereby we are saying that the government should pay off ECG's debt. Now, I'll ask you an example. The only problem with ECG is their indebtedness. That's why they can't function well. So if one of the preconditions for a concessionaire coming to take ECG is that government pays off all the debt, then ECG is as good as gold. So why would we now pay off the debt, then give it out to somebody else? Those are some of the things that I think IFC did, among other things, with labor, how the new co, which is the new company that will be formed, regards to how the assets of ECG is transferred to the new company, and how the employees value for money, and how the labor, the employees of ECG is transferred to the new company, and local content, okay, how that also comes into the new concession arrangement. All that I think needs to be done. The government should listen to ECG. They've gotten some consultants. They've done some really good in-depth work. Their consent should be brought on board, because bear in mind, they are going to be the asset owners, though they are going to lease the asset to the new company, the concessionaire coming in for 25 years. After 25 years, it will be returned back to ECG. So they need to be a supervisory role of the asset manager, who is going to be ECG, and there has to be a certain level of supervisory along the line. If they can run down the company, siphon all the money, and in 25 years we'll be left with nothing. Okay,
well, thank you very much. I have been speaking to Kojopoku. He's an energy expert, and we're looking at our energy sector in the country. Next, we have sports with Thierry Nyan.
Thank you.